צריך להתפלל
כוונה בתפילה. גם טוב.
מה זה נקרא יישוב הדעת?
תתפלל, להתרכז.
איך מקבלים יישוב הדעת?
תחשוב כמה דקות לפני התפילה מה אתה עושה.
כל דבר שאתה עושה.
שפם גמרת התפילה.
עושים פוש.
איזה פה?
שביתה שלנו תמיד.
Skipping have התפילה already.
גם, יש לך עוד כמה תלונות.
חס ושלום.
תפתח בית הכנסת, תעשה מה שאתה רוצה.
חס ושלום. אבל-
יאללה, let's go. משלי פרק ד'. פרק ד' פסוק ט"ז. כי לא ישנו אם לא ירעו, ונגזלה שנתם אם לא יכשילו. אומר שלמה המלך, he says, you gotta be very careful to hang out with the wrong people. Why? He says, כי האנשים הרעים האלו לא ישנו אם לא ירעו. They cannot go to sleep without doing something bad. לא יכול. He needs to do something bad. ונגזלה שנתם אם לא יכשילו. They cannot go to sleep if they're not going to cause other people to do sins ביחד. So two things he says here. They cannot go to sleep without doing a sin. And the question is why? And not only that they cannot go to sleep without doing a sin, they need to do a sin with others. לא, ביחד, זה כמה. אז ככה. אומר הגאון מבינה, he explains, אומר, if you look in פסוק י"ז, כי לחמו לחם רשע ויין חמסים ישתו. I'll explain it in a minute, but he explains ככה. He says, the same way, when a person is hungry, he wants to eat bread. And when you're thirsty, you want to drink something. He says, the Rasha'im, do you know why they cannot go to sleep without doing a sin? Because their avera by them is like bread. זה כמו האוכל שלהם. אז כמו, the same way you need to eat, without eating, you'll be hungry. So to Rasha'im, without doing bad averot, הם לא יכולים, הם רעבים. הנפש שלהם already is so bad, הם צריכים לעשות דבר רע. עכשיו, then why he needs to do it with 2 or 3 and 4? פשוט מאוד. If you do alone, how much can you steal? אבל כשיש לך whole חבר'ה, יש זיכוי רבים. So יכולים לגנוב ולגזול הרבה יותר. כן, שאם אתה רוצה לגנוב מבית, so if you're alone, you're going to go to someone with a bike. If you have 2, 3 חבר'ה, okay, so now we have a car. One is a driver. The other one checks the area, and the other one goes in. פותח שערים בחוכמה. אתה מבין אותי? So, the more people you get them to sin, the more lehem you're going to have. אומר לך שלמה המלך, אז תדע לך, by you hanging with them and you're going to think, I'm going to hang up with bad people. מה פתאום? He says you're wrong. Because there, when you hang out with the wrong people, everything is cash and everything that enjoyable is on the spot. Who can say no? מי יכול להגיד לא? It's easy money, והנאות באותו רגע, וחביבי, it goes, מה זה? זה קל. Why should I work hard and collect here money, and from this to check, till he picks up the phone, ועד 7. יש פה the gangsters, habibi, it goes quick, one phone call, everything gets done. והכסף הרבה, וזה cash. למה מאוד קשה? So אומר שלמה, don't think for 1 second, oh, it's not going to happen to me, because we learned yesterday בפסוק י"ד, באורח הרשעים אל תבוא, ואל תאשר בדרך רעים. He tells you about Pasuk Yudal, stay away from bad people. So you're going to ask, why should I spend time with bad people? It's not me. So you're wrong. Because bad people, Anashim Ra'im, Hata'im, they have something to offer that it's almost, you cannot say no to that.
When he's talking to the average person, הוא לא מדבר לצדיקים. הוא מדבר average people. שלא ייפלו בטראפ הזה.
הצדיק, he became tzaddik because he stayed away.
because הוא עבר את זה.
Yeah, he did. What do you think? Tzaddik starts when you're 50? No, when you're 14 and you have school and you have bad friends and you're strong and you don't get influence.
Is it his own hunger?
Sorry?
Is it his own hunger? Maybe he did it himself bad one time, and then now it's just maybe not enough for him. He has to get more people for himself to feel satisfied. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the first time he did it, he was satisfied. The second time,
the first time הוא עדיין לא נקרא רשע, או רע, הוא חוטא.
I'm saying, does it grow like a hunger grows inside it?
100% it grows. It grows like you can't even believe
I'm
how.
saying, like himself, it's not enough to do anymore. He needs people to do it with him for him to feel good about it, like to feel like it, like.
I want to tell you something. Any sin that a person does, once you did once, twice, 3 or 4 times.
It's like,
so number one, even if you did after once, you're not gonna reach to the max. It's like you're digging a hole. The more you dig, the bigger the hole it's gonna become. And it's an addiction after. You cannot stop it anymore.
Shlomo saying that the guy gets hungrier. Now he's so hungry.
He tells you about the Risha'im, that the Risha'im, they wouldn't go to sleep without doing something bad. And they wouldn't still only live, alone. They're going to get chevra with them. So he's telling you, don't think for 1 second that if you say Risha'im, you're going to tell yourself, I'm not going to get there. You're wrong 100%.
But why does the Rasha want that? That's the question. Why does the Rasha want other people to do it also? Why
with him?
Yeah,
because
why?
he gains more money.
It's beneficial for him.
100%.
But sometimes it can hurt him.
Every Rasha takes a chance.
He's not looking to get out of it.
Habibi, take any thief that tells him, if you can get caught, you can end up in jail. He says, I know. But I'm taking a risk.
I think I'm not going to get caught.
I'm not going to get caught.
I'm saying sometimes for him, he thinks, the more people that know, like let's say he's doing a scam or something, the more people that know about this scam, the more likelihood of him getting in trouble. So he wants to keep it to himself.
He shares the profit with them.
We're going to keep this. That pasuk, Yutet. When they do it quietly. That's where the pasuk, the derech resha'im ka'afela. But I'm not talking about quietly. I'm talking when he does, he's not going to do it alone. He wants to have another 2-3 chevra with him.
So he can get more.
Right. הגנבה או העבירה, more people.
יותר מתוק שעושה לימוד אנשים. לבד אתם לא נהנים מזה. תהיה עשיר לגור במאונטן. הוא לא בת שלו. The whole thing is to tell about people.
How in the world you got to the mountain?
לא, בן אדם לבד, אם הוא עושה עבירות לבד. לא הנאה מזה.
הוא לא אומר את זה. הוא אומר כי לא ישנו אם לא ירעו. Number one, he cannot go to sleep without doing something bad. Second, ונגזלה שנתם אם לא יכשילו. Not only that he does averot, he needs also people with him. So why? So Pshat Omer Agon, כי לחמו לחם רשע בירחם וסם ישתו. It's because by them זה האוכל שלהם, זה החיות שלהם. So the more people I get with me, the more money I'll make. אבל לבד,
זה לא רק בכסף, אני רוצה לעשות עבירה, אני אלך לבד לדיסקוטק, אני אקח את זה, בואו נלך לדיסקוטק ביחד, אני לא אהיה לבד, אני לא אהיה כמו איזה מסכן שם, בואו נלך ביחד.
אני לא מכיר את המקומות האלו, so I don't know what you feel.
Can you say when he's with more people, say
לדיסקו לא מבין את זה, אנחנו פה
אבל
במשלי.
בסדר, זה רק גנבות, יש בכל דבר.
תיקח את זה to your direction. Yes.
זה לא רק גנבות, זה גם דברים אחרים להשע, זה לא רק גנבה. אתה הולך, אתה רוצה לצאת מהשברים, אתה רוצה, because you enjoy more.
בוודאי.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you're still causing him to sin, so there's no difference.
Right.
It could be that you're talking about a gang member that wants to bring more people in the gang so they could steal more and do more, and he's happy with it. It could be like that.
Maybe he wants more people not to feel guilty about himself. So the more you have, it's like he feels less guilty.
Are you explaining why?
No,
I'll take all you pirushim, but first get the idea. The idea is,
למה אתה צריך
אם
כל
לא-
האנשים האלה? על אותו מדרגה. למה אתה צריך כל האנשים פה?
למה אני? למה אתה פה?
אני פה ללמוד ממך.
אז זה התשובה, כי זה בצועקים תתיר
לא,
שם.
אבל אתה רוצה לתת לנו.
לא, אני לא רוצה לתת. לא, אני לא רוצה לתת.
אם היית
אני לא רוצה
מה
לתת.
הדינמיקה?
אני לא רוצה
כל
לתת.
ההנאה שלך שאתה נותן לכולם.
לא, אני לא רוצה לתת.
אז על אותו מדרגה.
Why does Shlomo?
Yes.
Why does Shlomo Amelech say that he can't sleep? What is
לא,
this?
לא.
That's a
He's sleeping, רשעים,
לא יכולים, הם לא רגועים, they're not calm.
I don't
זה
know. They
במדרגות,
sleep
הם
peacefully.
צדיקים הולכים שם.
Did I say that I say he's not going to sleep? He's going to sleep. He's going to sleep. 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. He's going to sleep. He's not saying he's not going to sleep.
This has nothing to do with peaceful sleep. I'm sure this is nothing to do with him, like that Ashar being at peace and going to sleep restful. Like if somebody does something, is it?
If you go to sleep at 10, 11, he cannot sleep at 10 or 11. He needs to do something at 10, 11. He goes to sleep 2, 3, 4.
So this
Yalla.
is not Shlomo HaMelech telling me that someone who does something bad is nervous and then won't go to sleep from it.
In the first time, you'll be nervous. Second time, let me try again. Third time, Habibi becomes a habit. After 10 times, it's you addiction. You cannot stop. Hala, pasuk et het. Ve'orach tzadikim ke'or noga. Holech ve'or ad nachon hayom. דרך רשעים כאפלה, לא ידעו במה ייכשלו. He says, tzadikim, a tzadik, someone who is tzadik, his path, he's in the light. אין לו בעיות, אין לו ספקות, he doesn't have doubts, everything is clear by him. אומר, ואורח צדיקים, and the path of the tzaddikim, ke'or noga, is like the day, the light of the day. The at starts to shine, and once you get to the midday, he says that's the path of the tzaddikim. In the beginning, the more you learn, the more you know, the better. And what happens is, כמה שאתה יש לך יותר חוכמה בצדקות, the clearer of life it gets to them.
Life is clear.
הכל ברור להם, אין להם ספקות, כי זה ברור.
There's no safek because he's following Shulchan Aruch. Why would there be if a person today if you call him a tzaddik and he's going through path regularly, he's only going through path because someone paved it before him. Because 500 years ago there's a Shulchan Aruch, and now he gets to follow what Shulchan Aruch says. So he has no decisions to make. Every decision was already pre-made for him to do.
He's not talking about halachot. He's
Nah.
talking about
decisions.
He's about
An Ashar makes a wrong decision, Tzaddik makes a right decision. The
Are you
Tzaddik
asking
has
a
a
question?
decision.
No. What's the question?
Shlomo HaMelech is telling me that this Tzaddik's derech is like a sunshine or
No, אני לא אמרתי לו. מה פתאום? הוא
No.
אומר, when you start to learn, it's like the sun. לאט, slowly it starts to shine until it gets to midday. That's the most light that you can get.
Yeah.
When you start, you're going to bump into things because the dawn until the sunrise, it takes time, right? But you should know the path that you're going to take. Your life, in the beginning, you get a little challenges, but when I'm not talking about the challenges, I'm talking that the more knowledge that you're going to have, the less of problems you're going to bump into. אתה מבין אותי? הלכה זה לא אומר הרבה. I can tell you people that know הלכה and they bump their head את ההלכות because they know, אין להם שכל. מה זה היה לי פה? היה לי last week, היה לי איזה משהו, juicy story. היה משהו מאוד מעניין. last week. היה משהו סיפור יפה. אני צריך להיזכר משהו סיפור. שהחבר'ה פה will love it. אבל אז היה צריך להיזכר. But anyway, אומר לך שאדם שהולך, if you look at Rashi, תסתכל מה אומר רש"י. He says שהולך ומאיר מעמוד השחר עד נכון היום, which is עד חצות היום, שהיא בירורו של יום. What does it mean? So he says that the path of the tzaddikim are clear. זה ברור. It's clear. versus פסוק י"ט, דרך רשעים כאפלה לא ידעו במה ייכשלו. הרשע הולך בחושך ופתאום פח, he gets bang. הוא לא מבין מאיפה בכלל מגיע לו. כי זה רשעים. Yes. מה השאלה?
לא, אני ממש להגיד ש... לא.
You think the tzaddik has the chokhmah as if everything is clear. He doesn't have a safek. When he gets to a point of, there's no maximum point, but when he gets to the point of, I guess, a certain clarity, a certain amount of learning he grabbed, he attained. Now he can just all decisions, all sefekot that come to him and all challenges in life, just everything's clear. He knows what's right, what's wrong.
I want to tell you, I was thanks to the Rabbi Moment 20 years. He used to get phone calls from all over the world.
Yeah.
You tell him the question, it wouldn't take 2 minutes. You get the answer done by.
Because he's seen it, he's done it. That's it.
The most complicated questions, Waya Bahim, the Torah and life was so clear. Clear. So when everything is clear, you ask him a question, boom, 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 boom.
Because he has the Torah in his hands, like he has a check.
But it's more than the Torah. You have to have also knowledge to go in between the drops, not hacham, how to do things. Halakha is mutar asur, אבל יש above the mutar and the asur. When you're in a situation that you have to know ma mutar v'asur, you have to know also between, how to run the Torah between people. So that it's not simple.
So it's also experience.
It's more than the experience. It's much more than the experience. They have clarity, and that's.
If somebody asks a question to the rabbi that he never heard this question before, of course you need a couple of minutes to answer. You can't just give it. No.
That's why he's the rabbi.
לצדיקים אין מכשולים, אין להם, הדרך שלהם
מה אתה מחפש מהצדיקים? לא הבנתי.
לא, החיים שלהם כל כך נקי.
מי אמר חיים נקיים? אמרתם דברים ברורים.
ברורים לו, כן, אבל אין לו הפרעות בדרך. חייב להיות לו הפרעות.
אתה כאילו, לאן אתה הולך עם השאלה?
להבין, האם
אתה לא צריך להבין את הצדיק.
אין שום הפרעות בדרך.
רוני, your job is not to understand the tzadikim's life. First get to the...
אוקיי. האם יש הפרעות בדרך?
אם אתה עכשיו... מה זה הפרעות? מה זה הפרעות אצלך? הפרעות של רוני והפרעות של הצדיק, it's two different הפרעות. הפרעות שלך זה בעיות שאתה עושה. יש הפרעות של החיים. אבל לא הוא עשה את זה, he didn't create it. לא, מה פתאום? הרשעים, they create the problems. הרשע create problems. הצדיק doesn't create problems. Maybe problems of life gonna bump into him and he's gonna know how to challenge. But he's not creating the problems. הרשעים, they create the problems. They have to bump their head to the walls. And ואז מה עושים ואיך עושים כל הצרות שלהם. אוקיי?
כן. with משה רבנו, גם שהשם תום to take the stick וללכת תביא מים מהרק, אז גם לא היה לו clear vision what to do.
התורה לא כתבה מה היה החטא. אתה רוצה שנסביר מה החטא בכלל?
לא, אני רק שואל על...
אני לא עניתי לך.
אתה אומר זה לא החטא.
next. בוא נמשיך. So רבו ישראל, לומדים מפה דבר מאוד פשוט. That a person has to be careful with who you hang out. And you have to also know it's not only about you, it's about your wife and about your children also. Open your eyes and be aware who are the friends of your children. You have no idea behind your back. It's so easy for them behind your back to do the most terrible things. But as a monster, it's a bite. אדם צריך לדעת את זה.
How do you deal with it when it's somebody in their class? It's in school or...
In school, I cannot say anything but pick the right school.
So in the right...
Hold on. First of all, pick the right school. That's number one. And after you pick the right school and you have your kids home and you want to go to his friends to play with who? מה קורה בבית שם? אתה יודע בכלל מה קורה בבית? אוקיי, yes.
עד 17, 18, עד 18 אתה לא יכול להגיד לו, הוא לא אחד להגיד לך. אני רק...
אתה אומר לי מה אתה עושה או מה צריך לעשות?
מה צריך לעשות?
לא, מה צריך... אתה אמרת לי דבר לא נכון.
לא.
אתה אמרת לי מה אתה עושה.
Listen, you can't find out at 18 or 19. Yeah, at 12, 13, he still needs you. He can't go anywhere. Once he got his license, once he got this, once he can drive, once he can go whatever he wants.
Whose car is it?
You lose it. How are you gonna know where is he? Was he asking for?
יש לך חומש?
לא,
לא, אבל נתת לו 18 שנים של
מחילה.
הוא אמר,
הלו, הוא שאל אותך? זה נקרא בדיוק מה שדיברנו. זה הפרעות של החיים. טוב שבאת מפלורידה. תן לנו קצת אור.
עם החמה.
אורייט. תקשיב טוב. המצווה הראשונה בתורה, מה היא?
פורבו.
מה זה?
אה,
שאלתי אותו. מה זה המילה פירו ורבו?
לרבות את העולם. אתה יודע,
Rafi,
פרו-
I ask you a very simple question. Answer my question. What's the definition of פירו ורבו?
להביא ילדים.
לא, זה לא נכון.
multiply.
חברים, אני שאלתי אחד, please אל
זה
תפריעו.
מה שאני יודע. פורבו זה להביא ילדים.
אז תגיד, להביא ילדים, למה
כן.
כתוב פירו ורבו?
למה?
אריק
כל צריך
מפריע לי.
לפחות אחרי זה, אני לא יודע.
שאלתי simple words. What's the mitzvah of פירו? אמרתי לי to have kids. So למה לא כתוב, תביאו ילדים?
אני
תודה
לא-
רבה. בואו נפתח חברים לפרשת וירא. page 56.
56?
כן. פסוק כ' ויהי אלוהים את הנער ויגדל וישב במדבר ויהי רובה קשת. מה למדתי? 56. אוקיי, בגיל 18 אחרי זה גם לא שומעים. So, מה כתוב בפסוק כ'? ויהי אלוהים את הנער ויגדל וישב במדבר במדבר ויהי רובה קשת. What does it mean רובה קשת, מיסטר רפי? לא צריך רש"ית. מה זה רובה קשת?
רובה קשת?
כן.
I don't know.
מה הוא היה?
Hunter.
מה זה הנטר? אז תגיד, ויהי צד. חברים, היום הזה שאתה הרבה בלו"ז עובר.
אוקיי, אז תגיד צד. למה הוא אומר רובה קשת?
מה זה רובה קשת?
לצוד.
מה זה רובה וקשת?
לא מהמילה, רובה זה... maybe more an arrow. Maybe the arrow is רובה.
אוקיי, מה אתה עושה כשיש לך קשת? show me. What do you do?
You pull back and...
תקשיב טוב, מה אתה אמרת?
כן.
You hold the bow
You pull back
and you pull back
and then you let go.
and then you let to the arrow to go, right? So now what do? You pull it.
Back, yeah.
The more you pull it towards you, the farther down it's going to get.
Yeah.
But if you're going to pull,
Little bit, it's not going to go far.
it's not going to get nowhere.
Right.
It's going to fall right over here.
Right.
But if you're going to pull it all the way, what's going to happen? Omer Rabbi Rafael Hirsch. Admoni here. What does it mean, mitzvah of Peru Urvu? Omer Peru Urvu זה בא מלשון של רובה קשת. יש מצווה להביא ילדים, that's easy. אבל המצווה זה לא להביא ילדים, period. זה לדעת לגדל ילדים. איך? אומר רבי רפואל הירש. The Torah here tells us the definition של מה זה רובה קשת. הרובה קשת, someone who's a hunter, he pulls the string all the way here,
Yeah,
and then you let it go. תקשיב טוב אומר, that once you pull the string towards your heart, you know one thing, the minute you're going to let it go, you go straight and far away. אומר, the definition of פריה, פרה ורבה. פרה ורבה זה בא מלשון של רובה קשת. הורים מלמדים את הילדים מה זה לחיות חיים. Do you know how you could raise your children? I always said, to raise children is not to give them food and to give them a nice home. It's to give them tools how to live life once they leave your house. Once again, to raise children, it means I'm giving my kids tools once they leave the house, how they're going to live outside. Now, how would you know that you're doing the right thing? Or what's the message? Or how can I do it the right way? אומר לך, כמו רובה קשת. הקשת, מה הוא עושה? אם אתה לוקח את ה... If you're going to pull the string up to here, where you pull שמה. But if you're going to pull it all the way up to here, עד לפה, מה יקרה? ילך רחוק. אומר חינוך הבנים, פריה ורבייה, Torah did not say bring children. Pere vereve. Why the Torah uses the terms of pere verave? Where do we find another place the words of rave? Rove kashat. What does the rove kashat? What does the hunter do? He pulls the string, has like the paw, because once he's gonna leave it, it's gonna fly. Now let me finish. It's not about once they're out of the house, you have no control. You miss the boat. The Torah is telling you that you have to raise your children in a way so that once you raise the kids all the way they were close to you. So when they were close to you and you were able to teach them and guide them, they never leave your house. They keep the same house that you raised them in their homes. It's not two different places. It's not two different style of life. It's the same house. The question is, how did you raise them? If you raise the kids, ad elecha, v'chinachta otam, v'gidalta otam, what does it mean when he's 18 I have no say? I want you to know that till today my father can tell me whatever he wants and I will listen to him. Not because I'm afraid, because he raised us in a way that even after you leave the house, you're still in the house. More than that, it's not that once you leave the house, you're out of the house. The opposite. We tried to copy his house and our house, so we never left the house.
Got you. But you said the start. You said that friends have influence, and you don't know what friends comes. Now you raised them good, but he could find the wrong person somehow. How he's going to be able to deal with other things?
When my parents, at least I can tell you my parents, when my parents moved to Staten Island, we were not allowed to hang out with neighbors. We used to live in Borough Park. From Borough Park and the yeshiva, okay, the boys there, we moved to Staten Island, which is
more secular.
It's less, let's say in our language, it's less, religious.
More secular.
And I'm sorry to say the neighbors used to have TV and much more things. We never played with any neighbors. And we knew that. So now today, once we're out of the house, we have the same rules in our house. All my brothers. Ad kedei kach that even in our house, if one sibling feels that the other one is not in his level, he doesn't want his kids to play with his cousins because there's a computer, you have internet. We don't want my kids to play with your kids. Ad kedei kach. And by the way, no one gets no one gets offended. I'm not offended. אבל בבית ראינו שההורים שמו פנס. שם אתה לא הולך, פה אתה כן הולך.
So you got to start from the beginning.
בוודאי.
If you didn't, you have no chance at 18.
Not true. No, because you're a father forever. גם אחרי מיתת האבא. So you have to think not only now, also the future. You have a mouth. And there's something it's called communication. When you talk to your kids, you can talk. You're not, it's not that, as what, maybe now is even better because when they're kids, they don't listen.
Yeah.
Now, not only that they're going to listen, they appreciate what you went through to raise them. They remember it wasn't an easy life. They remember what you had to do. And they say now life is not, you got to struggle. This is lo kate pashut. So now, שאל אביך ויגדך זקניך ויאמרו לך. You're going to pay attention. Today, my brothers, my siblings, we call my parents to ask for advice. My age. You can ask me 30 years ago, would I even think to ask? When you're a teenager, you think that your parents dumb. They're old school. They don't know. I wish I could teach this parent. But once you get to a certain age, you're dumb, and how much you need their guidance and their help. In any aspect, when it comes, whether it's health and medicine and doctors, and then whether with with teachers in schools, and then whether it's with family and in-laws, that pops up, you ask your parents. This age they will listen even more. But remember, it wasn't the hargasha, wasn't I'm out of jail. If that's the case, it's a problem. But that's why I said a hunter, what he does, he pulls the string where? אם הילדים יודעים שההורים אוהבים אותם, when a kid feels that the parents love them no matter what, איפה שתזרוק אותם, they're still gonna be attached. I want to end up with something. A while ago, I had somebody came and asked me a question, and I'm sorry to say, I asked him, "Do you say to your wife, I love you?" He looked at me like, "Why do you ask?" Now I know why. He has an issue. So the answer was, not really. And you know why? Because he never saw that in his parents. Abba, I'm sorry to say, very tough. Don't get me wrong. Abba עם לב כזה ענק. אבל מאוד קשה. He never saw this soft words to his mother. לא ראה את זה. So he took that kind of behavior and he brought to his marriage. ופתאום יש שם, a lot of crushes and bumps. Not that he's bad or she is bad. פשוט, there is such a big gap. And because, and you asking me, the way he saw in his parents, that's how he brought her home. אתה צריך להבין שילדים, they're not trying to get disconnect from parents. Maybe when you're 18, you want, but once you get 22, 25, 20, 30, you should know you'll copy every move that your parents did in your marriage. So you're not just leaving your kids out. You have to know that the kid's going to copy you. If there is any fight between a couple, you should know that the kid always puts in his mind, oh, I remember how my father, he said to my mother, and that's how he says to his wife also. But when a kid remembers his father was so quiet, how could I say something to her? So the opposite. It's not that you have no control. You have mental control. Indirect, they copy you in every sense that you do. Bakol, 90%.
Is this like mamash? Like
עכשיו, מי שעובד על עצמו, even if, זה קשה, אבל מי שעובד על עצמו, if somebody works on himself, even whatever he saw by his parents, you could have uprooted and start from the beginning, and you build a new home. יש את זה, לא הרבה, אבל יש. אבל רוב, we always follow the footsteps of our parents. אתם מבינים את זה? אתה לא התנתקת לא אייזיק, לא אלברט. לא, אתה צריך לדעת את זה. אבל צריך כן לדעת שגם even if they're in a certain age, אתה יכול להגיד בתור אבא, my opinion. אתה לא מתערב, but you can tell, I don't think what you're doing is right. That's it. מותר לך וגם לך כתוב, that if you have השפעה, influence, you have to say to your parents, to the kids. That's it. בוודאי דרכי נועם, and if you can say it, you're only going to win. היה פעם, תשמע סיפור, אני לא רוצה שזה מוקלט, so I'm going to stop it over here, אני אגיד לך משהו.